if you guys have been following us along here and you're all interested to see, we always do this every year. We touch on who was our jersey swap of the year. We're going to do this first based on who we think, like as a player, we thought now, was the player of the year for us. And then we'll actually show you who we had said throughout the season the most and shouted them out. So Sam, go ahead first.
Yeah, so my jersey swap of the year is going to be Evander. I mean, like we said, this guy set records for not only the MLS, but FC Cincinnati records, goals, assists, you name it, he was doing it. And, the mid part of the summer there, exactly like it was Lucho last season, they really carved up, their opponents in the middle of the summer there. So with the schedule change, I hope, none of that, backfires on us and our players still play good in the middle of the season and at the end. But yeah, what a season for Evander. I hope he continues to build on it. Obviously, he loves the culture and the community that FC Cincinnati has, right? He kind of feels like he wants to win a cup here. He's been saying that since he arrived, right? I want to win trophies. I want to win silverware. And if I don't, then it really doesn't mean much, as far as my time here, right? So hopefully he's able to put his stamp on that. When it does, he will eventually leave at some point because he is that good of a player that he probably will end up moving back to Europe at some point. Hopefully not another MLS club, but shout out to Evander. What a season. He will be my jersey swap of the year. As far as the count, Ryan, we'll do that later. We'll do that later. You give me, you give me your straight up. What was your jersey swap of the year?
Yeah, no, I had Pavel Bucha was my jersey swap of the year. Our glue guy, just a guy that did it all for us. I think, the most, appearances, for the club over the course of the season. His plus minus, when he's on the field, when he's off the field is just wildly different. I mean, he makes this team tick and makes everyone around him better. I mean, you saw how he elevated Samuel Giddey, a young player that was next to him. And we clearly saw it in the Philly match when he was off. We just got destroyed. So it has shown itself time and time again how important Pavel Bucha is to this team. We saw him grow a little bit on offense. And I think in the future, we say it year to year, we're going to continue to see his confidence grow in that part of the pitch. And he had more goals, more meaningful, opportunities around the box. And I really just loved his game overall this season. He found a way to be on the pitch consistently. Like, what a just workhorse in the midfield, Sam. Like, he was there every single game. No doubt about it. Pencil in Pavel Bucha for every single one. And that's what we want for our players, just to see the same guys rolling out and just dominating matches.
Yeah, absolutely. But Ryan, as we get into it, I'll show the graphic here. Here we are. This is the beauty of it all, the culmination of the season. If you're listening on podcasts, hopefully I'll post this and you'll be able to see this for yourself. And
nice.
Maybe if you're following along or have been following along all season, maybe you've had your own jersey swap, right? So why don't you count yours that you've had as well? But based on my count, Evander was my jersey swap of the year, just as my regular jersey swap of the year. So very accurate there. Ryan, surprise here for you. What do you think?
I'm kind of a little shocked. Roman Celentano was my jersey swap based on the count here. I guess I need to go get his keeper kit.
Yeah, I think, obviously what this shows is something very cool. So Evander tops our charts, followed by Roman. Danke, tied with Roman with 7. And then Pavel Bucha with 6. Lucas Engel with 5 there. And then you get Brenner with 4, and then rounds out with Miles and Dotto and Ender all with 3. Then you get Hagglund, Anunga, Kamara, Alves, Powell all with 2. And then you get the ones, right? So the little one-offs, right? In Sergio Santos, RIP, DeAndre Yedlin, RIP. And then you get Luca Orashano, Steven Jimenez, Evan Loro, Teenage Adebe, Samuel Giddey, and then I don't believe the graphic shows it, but Ryan is missing a couple of jersey swaps, and that's because Ryan likes to give his jersey swap to something other than players. And so if you see on the notes there, Ryan actually gave 3 jersey swaps to people who have never touched the pitch, over 13 non-nominated players there to your right if you're looking
Yeah,
at
they
the
didn't deserve it. The
or
fans deserved it.
yes. So he gave it to Chris Albright. He gave it to the supporters. And then he also, he didn't really feel like giving any player in the Charlotte match that we lost. So he gave it to the FCC alumni, right? So nice to see there all around. But, some other notes, Ryan, Brenner's first match was August 30th, and he still came in 6th in the most
Yeah.
jersey swap nominations, right? So once
Came
again,
in and impacted the team.
exactly, impact right away. And
Yeah.
then this was my little note, was there was a 17 episode gap in between Sam's first and last Nick Hagglund nomination. So it was a large gap there for
wonder
me and
why.
Nick, but yeah, we reconciled. I wish I could go back and actually see why and how. I'd have to re-listen. So all I did was look at the agendas. So
Sam, I remember, I went back and looked. My jersey swap of the year last year was Luca Orishano, and he only had
our
one
collective,
nomination for me, from anyone, from either of us, all season.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, cool. So cool stats. Obviously, like I said, on the right, if you are looking at the graphic, on the right were players that were not nominated by us, or they didn't receive a jersey swap the entire year. Matt Miazga, not a single jersey swap the whole year.
Dang.
He started in 21 in all comps, and then Gilberto Flores actually 16 starts in all comps, didn't receive a single jersey swap, and then 2 more would be Obi and Obi. He didn't receive a single one, and then Yu Yakubo didn't get one as well. So very interesting. Honestly, Ryan, you look at that list too, you see the likes of Brett Halsey. Brett Halsey, he's on the list. Amir Dali's on the list. Noah Adnan, right? They started games in 2025.
Yeah, I love it. I thanks for putting that together, Sam. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We do it pretty much every single episode, who we think, and maybe even, not players that are even on the pitch, if it's me. So, but on the flip side, as we always do, what did you have for your card of the year?
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, we had to go through the archives of the agendas throughout the years, or throughout this year, and I mean, I think if you had been listening for a while, I tend to create the more wacky card of the weeks. I bring up different things. My honorable mention, Ryan, would be the pantsing that we saw in the Premier League with the Crystal Palace player. I think it was Ishmael Sarr, I think. So that was my honorable mention. I wanted to go with that one because it's a little bit more silly, but I couldn't let the one that I chose, slip away. And that would be the Cleveland Crew flop, right? Unfortunately, this was devastating, right? For the entire season. Back in April, there was all of this hype from the Crew about this match in Cleveland against Inter Miami and Messi. Crew fans weren't too thrilled about it going into the match, and really just in general, having to drive all the way up to Cleveland for this match, which they have a soccer-specific stadium that they didn't want to host it in. So on top of that, it was nothing but complaints about the venue, the travel, like I said, etc., from Crew fans when they got to the stadium as well, probably about parking, some other things around the stadium. And even worse, they lost 1-0 after dominating in possession, shots, and pretty much every stat possible. So they walked away having to drive all the way back down to Columbus, and this dubbed the second mistake by the lake, the Cleveland Crew.
Hey, it's a thing for the future. If you guys missed it, the commissioner of Major League Soccer, Don Garber, actually met with the mayor of Cleveland back in August, maybe about a possibility of moving the team to Cleveland. So they're already starting that with some home matches up there. We'll see what that looks like in the future. It is kind of wild, Sam. They have a new name for their stadium as well, and the company is based out of Cleveland, not Columbus. Fun fact there. So pretty interesting. But yeah, so on the flip side of yours, mine is, as you guys have probably been sick of hearing, the schedule for the MLS just continues to be wacky. But this might be one of the last times you hear about this, because we're switching the schedule. And I think that might solve a lot of problems. But yeah, all season long, we've had issues with scheduling in competitions, and this being an issue and that being an issue. Why are we why are we having the playoffs, at the same time as the international window? It's all still a mess and hard for people to follow if you're a normal fan. So again, if you're listening now, this is getting cleaned up, within a year and a half. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think the three things that Ryan's touched on all season as far as cards have been Inter Miami, Apple TV,
True.
and the schedule change. Those are three things that, like you said, I mean, we have one more season, but after that, you'll have one more monkey off your back, Ryan, and we hopefully won't expect
We're gonna have a
anymore in
card.
2027, right? We don't know.
2027 comes around and the Cleveland Crew are a thing, and we have a normal schedule. Like, will Sam and I even have a card to go off of?
Yeah, exactly. We'll look back and be like, man, 2025 was an anomaly, right? I mean,